fantastic scene, and I think it's a masterclass in philosophy. The whole thing, actually.
When you read it or see it for the first time, you sort of start thinking, okay, where is this going after this?
All right, we're live. I'm here with my friend Vishal,
Yep.
and dude, we're gonna go down a rabbit hole that might actually break our brains today. We're talking about Anton Chigurh from No
Sure.
Country for Old Men. Uh, and you've been telling me this guy isn't just a movie villain. You think he's
Right.
like a philosophical weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, so what happened recently is I read the book again, and of
Hmm.
course I've seen the movie, but reading the book also gave me like a nicer perspective. And the good thing was I read the book after I saw the movie. So I already had this image in my head, and it makes it easier to visualize what this guy is doing, which is actually very psychopathic. But the Coen brothers, they, I think, accidentally created, of course, on the basis of the book, one of the most terrifying philosophical thought experiment which has ever been put on screen. Of course, they had a very nice basis because of the story in the book. Coming back to your question, this is not just any other villain or bad guy with a weird haircut. This is about what happens when someone takes logical thinking to its absolute extreme and then throws out everything that makes us human.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still just a psycho killer, right? I mean, the dude uses a cattle gun to murder people.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exactly what I thought the first time when I watched the movie.
Hmm.
But then after multiple watches and when you start paying attention to what he actually says, how he thinks, what he's doing, it's like there's something crazy going on, right? And he might be the most rational person in the entire story.
What are you saying? How can a person who decides people's fate and maybe his own through a coin flip be the most rational person in the movie? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so that's what sort of makes it disturbing.
Hmm.
Okay, let me flip the question. Let me ask you something. Have you ever really thought about why we think murdering people is wrong?
Oh man, I hope this video is not being watched by the law, the law in Amsterdam, as lenient it might be.
Yeah,
But I mean, why murder is bad? Okay, let me think. Because you're ending someone's life,
yeah.
and they have their associated families, they have dreams of their own, they want to live, and you're ending that. You're playing God.
Yeah, so all fair, all right, but the baseline assumption is that we're making here, just for the sake of argument, that life has inherent value, right? That consciousness, human experience, suffering, all of that matters in some cosmic sense. And
Mhm.
what if it does not? What if the universe is completely oblivious, indifferent to whether you live or die?
But sure, universe doesn't care, but we care, right? We are here as human beings, as a our friends care, our families care, humans care at the end of the day.
Absolutely right. You and me care. 99% of the humanity cares, but Shigur maybe does not care, and that's what makes it so fucked up. So
Hmm.
he's in his mind. It's like imagine, you know, he's one of those characters. When you think about him, he's someone who looked at another human being and just looked at a human caring and said that's just biological programming. That's just evolution making you think that survival matters, right? But he's not like that. He decides to live as if that programming doesn't apply to him at all. So he's out of the programming loop of caring about other human beings.
So, okay, so he's wired a little differently. He's just
Yeah.
unplugged from the basic human software, how we usually operate.
Yeah, that's like a very rudimentary and basic way to put it. He runs on pure logic without any of the emotional or social operating systems that makes us civilized and humans.
Okay. But we cannot discuss Anton Chigurh and not talk about the most thrilling and chilling scene that comes to my mind when I talk of No Country for Old Men, which is the coin flip. Uh,
Yes, absolutely. And to get in the mood,
yes.
I'm gonna turn that scene up so that we
Oh,
can
lovely.
see him, see the environment that he operates in, and also his victims. So I'm gonna play it from here, the final scene.
All right. Heads then. Well done. Don't put it in your pocket, sir. Don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter. Where you want me to put it? Anywhere, not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin. Which it is.
I'm not gonna play the whole scene. It's like a 4 minute video.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyone should go and if you've not seen the movie, go and check this scene out at least to get a flavor.
I mean, it's what a fantastic scene, and I think it's a masterclass in philosophy. The whole thing, actually.
Let's sort of break down what's happening here, right? Chigurh is not randomly deciding to kill this guy. When he walks in his mind, the moment they interact, the guy is already dead.
Is he already dead though?
Yeah, yeah. As in, if you put yourself in his footsteps and think about it from his perspective, he operates on this principle that everything is predetermined. Every event, every choice, every moment is just the universe playing out according to some cosmic script. So when he comes in and meets this guy, in Chigurh's worldview, whether this guy lives or dies has already been determined by some cosmic script, like I said.
So he's decided that he's this guy is going to be up for this experiment. That's what he's decided
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
day. But then why does he flip the coin? Like, why the coin flip?
It's sort of him acknowledging the fact that he doesn't know what's already been determined. It's like imagine you're watching a recorded sports game, but you don't know the outcome. The game's already over, but the winner's also been decided, but from his perspective and your perspective, it's still unknown. Something like that.
Okay, all right. So the coin flip is his way of discovering
Yeah,
fate rather than
exactly.
creating
Yeah.
fate. Okay.
And if one of the most famous dialogues of the movie and also in the book is, "What's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?" And when you read it or see it for the first time, you sort of start thinking, okay, where is this going after this? So this guy thinks he's talking about money, like betting, the owner, but Chigurh is talking about something else. He's talking about existence itself, right? And he's saying, you've been gambling with your life every single day. You just did not know it yet.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty fucked up, but also because it's true. Like
Yeah,
every time you drive a car, you cross a street, you get on a plane. My God, the
absolutely.
plane thing has been taking off. No pun intended. You're
Yeah,
actually basically flipping a coin with death. You're right.
yeah, yeah. And that's one of the anomalies of human experience that most of us live in denial of this fact. We create the illusions of control and safety. Sugar is sort of this life force. He comes in, he forces people to confront the reality that there's always one random event that can happen and that can lead to their non-existence. So there's just one event away.
But tell me one thing. This is interesting what we're talking about. But if Anton Chigurh really believes everything is predetermined, why does he seem to have these rules? Why does he care about keeping his word, which is there in the movie, and then following through on the threats as well? Like he will,
Yeah,
he has this locked and loaded target, and he's not going to leave that
yeah.
target. Yeah.
I think this is where you add another layer of complexity to the character.
Hmm.
He's in his mind created this philosophical system where he sees himself as an instrument of fate, but he still has to maintain internal consistency. It's like even if you believe you're just a character in a book, you still have to stay in character, right? It's like you go on the stage, you stay in the character.
Yeah, that's beautiful, but horrifying.
Yeah, we don't say beautiful and Shigu in the same sentence.
I know. Makes me fucked up. I know.
Yeah, but the other thing is when the gas station guy wins the coin toss, we saw that scene, right? He tells
Yeah.
him, "Don't put it in your pocket, or it'll get mixed up with the others and become just a coin," which it is.
But what's he really saying? Like, what the hell does that mean?
So he's sort of, giving him like this one moment of meaning to his life that this coin saved your life. It's special. and then immediately is taking it away by saying which it is, meaning it's just a coin. It's sort of playing in the theme of this everything and nothing simultaneously related to this moment.
Okay, all right. So he's like acknowledging that meaning is both real
Yeah,
and an illusion at the same time, basically. Hmm.
yeah. So that's what makes him a multi-layered character and also philosophically dangerous. He's not a nihilist like many that we've discussed who says nothing matters.
Mhm.
Is something much more complex and worse. He's someone who sees that meaning is a human construction and chooses to operate outside of it.
Okay, cool. Let's take a step. I won't say back, but let's take a step sideways and maybe talk about violence, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of violence in the movies, but what makes it so interesting is the way the violence happens,
My
the
God.
way he kills people, right? There is that bazooka of a cattle gun that he carries around.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Why
I'm gonna
why is he not using a normal gun, man?
yeah, I'm gonna come to that.
Okay.
But this is where I want to appreciate the way the movie has been made, because when you read all these details in the book, it's
Hmm.
always very difficult to visualize, right? Even if you have a very vivid imagination. But
Hmm.
it's kudos to all these directors who bring out the best version and show it on the screen, right? That hey, this is how it looks, and it adds another layer to the whole story, right? But yeah, coming back to violence and why is this violence so weird? Let's first
Hmm.
check out this cattle gun so that people see what we're talking about.
All right, let's do it.
Howdy. What's this about?
Step out of the car, please, sir.
What is that?
I need you to step out of the car,
Oh my
sir.
God.
What is that for?
Would you hold still, please, sir?
Okay, so the cattle gun. Yes, it's not just a weapon as we saw,
Hmm.
it's sort of a statement. You know what the cattle guns are really used for, right?
Yeah, I mean, for killing cows, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. But think about the context, like cattle, cows, all of this, they're property, right? They're not considered to have moral status. They're processed, not murdered. By using a cattle gun on human beings, Sugar is literally treating people like livestock, like cattle.
So to us, to him, we are just meat, flesh.
Worse, it's worse. At least with livestock and cattle, there's a purpose.
Hmm.
Food, leather, whatever, eating, different kinds of eating, right? Different kinds of flavor. Sugar doesn't even have that justification for humans. He's treating human beings as less than cattle because at least cattle serve a function in the long food chain, right?
Yeah, and this scene reminded me of this other scene. If you remember, there he's strangling that deputy
Yeah.
in that jail outside the jail cell, and they hold that shot forever, and you see that guy's legs kicking, leaving scuff marks on the floor.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And the scuff marks are proof of the will to live, biological imperative of the desperate, desire for us to survive. And look at his face. There's nothing. He's completely neutral. There's no effect on him whatsoever.
Yeah, he's like a rock solid machine, like no emotions, nothing. Right? We just saw his
Yeah,
face
yeah, smiling.
smiling.
But yeah, that's exactly what he represents. Uh, and if you remember, there's another aspect to his personality and character is that when he's treating his own wounds after
Hmm.
shootouts, right? There's no concern, there's no attachment, there's a complete sense of detachment, and he's performing surgery on himself like it's just another day, right? And there's the same emotional distance that he shows when he's killing people.
Wow, that's I mean, so he how he treats other people just as flesh and meat, he's treating his very own body like that as well.
Yeah, this almost pure Cartesian dualism taken to the logical extreme, right? Complete separation of mind and body.
Hmm.
And most people, even if they intellectually accept that the body is just meat, still have an emotional attachment to their own survival, right? Like we saw, like people getting killed and they wanna
Hmm.
have this animal desire to survive, but not him. not in any instance of his life.
But that raises a crazy question, which is that is he even conscious the way he understands consciousness?
So this is sort of a thought experiment, which is called by philosophers the zombie problem, and it says that maybe he's just what they call a philosophical zombie. All the behaviors of consciousness without any inner experience happening.
So he's just like running a program of some sort.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, or maybe consciousness, without any emotions, empathy, feeling, and that's maybe that's what it looks like, right? Maybe what we think of as consciousness is really just the whole package. Thoughts plus feelings plus social connection, but maybe something is missing in his case.
That's terrifying. And I was reading somewhere that his depiction of this is as close to one can get to a psychopath's depiction. So well, yeah, but
Yeah.
again, it's terrifying because it suggests that everything that we think makes us human is just, I mean, software that can be deleted. Like it can be replaced, right?
Yeah, yeah. So he is missing some parts, of course. As in he's functioning, he has the senses, his senses work very well, but he's missing some part of the human connection with the others. And that just makes you think that there is so much that we know about how human beings work physically and emotionally, and but there's so much that we don't.
I think one character which deserves our attention is Carla Jean,
Yeah,
and especially that one final scene, because she's the only one I think which sort of gets under his skin, under Anton Chigurh's skin.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
She is different and fascinating, one of the few female characters in the story as well,
Right.
who directly challenges his framework, right? Everyone else either does not understand what he's saying or tries to work within his system.
But again, for our viewers, why don't you take a stab at how does she challenge him, and on what counts, on what basis exactly?
She does not participate in his coin flip, right? And he
Right.
she calls out the bullshit that the coin doesn't have any say, or like she says, the coin don't have no say. It's just you.
So she's asserting that human agency, right?
Yeah, and she sort of gets into his skin. Maybe he does not even know where she's coming from. And she says that you're not an instrument of fate. You're not following any cosmic law, right? You're just choosing to kill me.
Hmm.
And for the first time in the story, you see that he sort of gets a bit uncomfortable because he doesn't know what to answer to that.
But why don't you double click that also for me? What do you mean by like uncomfortable? What does that lead to, or what does that tell us about him?
I think it reveals that his entire framework might be closer to what Sartre called bad faith, something that we've discussed in the past.
Hmm.
A structure rather rigid, which is designed to avoid confronting the anxiety of choosing something, of genuine choice. So by creating these rules and rituals, he's avoiding the guilt or the fact that he's killing people.
So what Carla Jean does is Carla Jean is forcing Anton Chigurh to look inwards and
Yeah,
confront himself and his principles in some ways.
yeah, yeah. And of course, he cannot handle it, right? And he kills her anyway, but without the coin flip. So he has to break his own system because she won't participate in the ritual that allows him to pretend that he's not responsible.
Then that makes him really pathetic, does it not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It does, and it reveals that, underneath all this philosophical sophistication, conflict, and all that, he might just be someone who can't handle the weight of moral responsibility of killing someone. So
Hmm.
he's created this elaborate system to avoid it.
But ironically, if he's avoiding responsibility, that makes him probably more human and not less, right? Just at least this aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's why, this gets more confusing, and he gets more layered as a character because that makes him even more human, if I can say that. He's what happens when the very human desire to avoid guilt and responsibility gets taken to its logical extreme.
Again, I think that gets us to the point. Then he's not a philosophical monster; he's a philosophical coward,
Yeah,
Anton
yeah, yeah.
Chigurh, right?
Maybe a mix of both. The scariest of these people are they're trying to escape from something
Yeah,
fundamentally human, right? So that's what maybe is happening.
correct, correct. Let's talk about that one scene. There's that car accident at the end, if you recall. After the whole
Yeah.
movie building him up as this unstoppable force, he gets taken out by a random car crash. Crazy.
Yeah. So this scene is also very ironical, right? This guy who spent the entire movie forcing other people to confront the randomness of existence, and then it happens to him by pure chance. It nearly kills him, right?
But one thing which we couldn't see, of course, paucity of time, is that those kids, they probably want to help him for free, but he insists on paying them.
Yeah, yeah. So he still has that logical transactional view of his existence, right? Everything has a price, nothing is free. It's like altruism doesn't exist. So, like is the case with all of these villains.
Okay. And so not very demanding as well.
Yeah, yeah,
He won't rob a bank. Okay.
yeah,
So, and one of the kids, though, continuing on that, tells the other, you didn't see nothing. They instinctively know that they've encountered like something wrong.
yeah. And kids, they are better at these things. They have better instincts, right?
Yeah.
They haven't been socialized to rationalize away their gut reaction. They just know this is bad. This shouldn't be talked about.
Yeah, but what gets me, this accident doesn't humanize him or provide any cosmic justice. It just happens. I think last but not the least, of course, there are quite a few other colorful characters in there. Llewellyn
Yeah,
is there, but then of course there is this part which is played by the sheriff, right? Which is
yeah,
Sheriff Bell, and he seems to represent all of us watching this movie in some ways, like the narrator, trying to make sense of something which is just so senseless.
yeah. And they say that, Bell represents the old ways,
Hmm.
and he represents the old guard, and he's also the moral center of the story.
Hmm.
He represents traditional values like law, order, justice, the idea that good guys can win, bad guys can be stopped. Also, one of the inspirations of how why the story was called No Country for Old Men. So the old ways are going away, the new things are coming, which the old guard cannot do anything about.
Yeah, yeah. Though I would never live in a society as new as this. I would prefer the older one. But so Anton Chigurh then,
Yeah,
as the foil, as the contrast, basically breaks the entire framework.
yeah,
That's what he's saying.
and Bell says it right. He says that the crime that we're seeing now, it's hard to even take its measure, and he's not
Hmm.
talking about the scale of violence. He's talking about how it's happening. The cattle gun.
Hmm.
It exists outside his vocabulary.
I get, because we're talking Coen brothers. The same shit happens in Fargo as well.
Yeah,
When there's so much killing going on, the old guard is always like, "What the fuck? The society has
yeah,
deteriorated." Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I understand it's outside his moral vocabulary, and he tells the story about the young killer who said he'd been planning to kill someone for as long as he could remember, and that he knew he was going to hell. Right?
yeah. But that killer, I think, is still operating within some framework.
Hmm.
Heaven, hell, guilt, punishment. There's still something to look forward to for him. He was evil, but there was a pattern to him, right?
Hmm.
Sugar, I am sure he doesn't believe in hell or heaven or anything like that.
Right, right. And Bell's final dream about his father carrying fire through the darkness. What is?
Yeah, again, it's the same old guard, moral order, human values, but he wakes up, right? The dream ends and the light goes out.
And then I woke up. That's not just the dream. Then.
Yeah, it's about waking up to a reality where, the old ways are gone, the traditional morality is gone, it's not adequate.
Hmm.
uh, old certainties no longer apply when people like Chigurh come in.
Right. So Vishal, then what do we do with this? What does the existence of Anton Chigurh, even as a fictional character, tell us about reality? What the hell
I
does
think
he tell us?
he's one of those edge cases, as we call it, outliers. Most ethical systems assume certain constants like desire for survival, capacity
Hmm.
for empathy, social connection. He's just outside all of this. Yeah, so like I said, watch the movie, read the book. I am too deep into it nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. But should we tell the audience to not think about this shit too deeply?
I assume that whoever watches the movie or goes on to read the book, they're gonna ask these questions. They're uncomfortable, but these are the type of questions that make us more human because they give us the alternative view, right?
Hmm. Okay, okay. I think that's fair. All right, everyone. This has been Mohit and Vishal. We hope you like this podcast. If you made it this far, congratulations. You now understand why some questions are better left unanswered or unasked, rather.
Yeah, but we ask them anyway, right? Because that's what
Yeah.
human beings do. They don't logically, they are logical, but they are logical with some human empathy, and they ask questions, they talk to each other,
Yeah.
and that's what we do as well.
Sure, sure. But we've also done George Costanza
Yeah,
equally, so we can do something lighter. Maybe let's delve into the philosophy of comedy
yeah,
or why psychedelics make everything so
yeah.
profound.
Rick and Morty. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
anything
why
to
not?
cleanse the palate after this nightmare.
Cool. Good stuff. All right. Take care, guys. Bye bye.
All right. See you next time.